provided by Thomas Allgeier and Furness, based on the most relevant posts on LinkedIn about account-based marketing in CW 48 and 49. Furness is a B2B market research company working with enterprises to optimize their campaigns with account and executive insights far beyond AI. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission today is focused entirely on the account-based marketing landscape. We've basically dissected the top insights and trends from B2B leaders on LinkedIn over the last couple of weeks. So if you're in GTM strategy, this is pretty much the playbook your peers are using right now.
And the context here is absolutely vital. I mean, the conversation around ABM has just shifted so dramatically.
Right.
It's no longer about, tuning a single campaign. We're talking about the entire go-to-market execution model. The trends are all pointing towards precision, outcomes, and experience-led engagement.
And AI-enabled orchestration. It really is a systemic change.
Exactly.
That's why we're calling this the ABM operating system. We've pulled together the most critical themes, and we're going to unpack them now. We'll start with ICP discipline, then get into sales alignment, content, and finally, how to actually measure ROI.
Let's do it.
So, theme 1, ICP discipline and precision over volume.
If there's one theme that just dominated everything, it's this relentless drive toward precision. The momentum has moved so sharply away from just broad reach.
Yeah, Tom B. summarized this so well. He argued that this obsession with, capturing total addressable market is leading teams to chase volume instead of revenue density.
Exactly. And Kushan Shekhar had a great line saying that ABM works because it stops you from treating leads like lottery tickets.
Right.
But that discipline requires you to know who you want and why.
Yeah.
If you're just using basic firmographics industry, company size, you're still basically guessing.
So to get that precision, you have to go deeper. And this is where Weider-Dieleman's point about the SPICE-D framework comes in. He said, supercharges your ICP understanding.
Yeah, SPICE-D is designed to diagnose the internal drivers. So you've got situation, pain, impact, critical event, and decision. And the one that really changes everything for marketing is that critical event.
Why is that one so important for ABM?
Because it creates urgency. It's the why now. Is there a new regulation? Did an internal project just fail?
Change in leadership, maybe.
Right. And when you diagnose that, you can align your entire message not to a job title, but to their current business crisis. That's real precision.
And it pays off. I mean, the numbers Mallory Fetch you shared were just phenomenal. An 18.84x fully loaded ROI.
Incredible.
All from rebuilding their system around targeting the right accounts and prioritizing qualified pipeline, not just lead count.
It just changes the math entirely. And Kushan Shekhar reinforced this, citing that B2B companies using ABM see, 208% more revenue from marketing?
It's huge. But let's be realistic for a second. Nick Bennett mentioned a client with 5,000 accounts in their quote-unquote ABM program.
Yeah, spray and pray.
Right. And he contrasted that with a team that locked themselves in a room and agreed on just 25 accounts. 25. Is that actually realistic for a company with, say, $100 million target?
That's a fair question, but I think the lesson isn't the number 25. The lesson is the intensity. If you have 5,000 accounts, you have zero intensity. The successful approach Nick shared got them 21 meetings in 90 days because it forced the entire team to focus their energy where they could actually win. You prove the model, then you scale.
And you can only have that kind of intensity if sales and marketing are totally locked in.
Which brings us to our next theme, alignment.
Yes.
Nicholas Wanschneider said ABM is shifting from a campaign to an operating system embedded in the company's DNA.
And if you look at why these things fail, Trinity Nguyen nailed it. She said most suffer because sales and marketing don't decide on targets together.
Which leads to attribution wars.
Exactly. And you get none of that surround sound effect for the buyer.
I loved how direct Lucy Hackman was on this. She called programs run only by marketing demand gen wearing a wig. That's a powerful image.
It is.
So for the audience, what's the first step to, stop wearing that wig and build what she calls swarm ABM?
It seems to come down to convergence. Swarm ABM is where sales, marketing, and even CS all converge on the same accounts at the same time.
A unified front.
And a huge part of that is leadership visibility. Fergus Parker pointed out that great content and tech fail if your leaders are invisible.
Absolutely. He saw a client get a 3x lift in connection to meeting rates just by activating their execs on LinkedIn, aligned to those tier 1 accounts. That credibility just accelerates everything.
That makes total sense. But okay, an operating system sounds disruptive and expensive. For teams trying to get buy-in, where do they even start?
You start small. That's the most reliable pattern. Mark Walker and Rick Harrison both emphasize this.
The strategic pilot.
Exactly. Pick 5 high-value accounts you want to accelerate. Set a really clear, measurable goal. You prove the concept, you build an internal case study, and then you get the budget to scale.
All right, let's move from the model to execution. Content. Debjit Sen made a really insightful point that most teams have enough content. The problem is they aren't using it correctly.
Right. ABM doesn't need more content, it needs better context.
And how do you create that context?
By reusing what you already have. You take assets, even if they're 6 or 12 months old, and you shape them for the specific challenges of that account. You connect your library to their pain.
And that personalization has to go deep. I mean, Alex C's anecdote about start pitching the engineer was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
You're selling to a committee of 6 people, the CTO, CFO, procurement, and if you pitch efficiency to all of them, the deal just stalls.
Because each of them has different pressures, different fears. Effective ABM needs what he calls an attack map for each stakeholder's hidden fears.
So the CFO's fear isn't about tech specs.
Not at all. It's about vendor lock-in, or what happens if the implementation fails. You have to address those fears directly with your content.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, Michael Groff had a great example. A client doubled their demos in 30 days just by using landing pages tailored to the account's specific industry and pain points.
So not just swapping out a logo.
No, delivering hyper-relevant value from the first click. And Vladimir Blagojevich's framework reinforced this. Personalization has to progress and match where the account is in their journey. It's a coordinated dance.
And LinkedIn is obviously a huge stage for that dance. Priscilla Fenner noted, it's way more than a lead gen channel. It's about influencing the whole journey.
You're warming them up long before they ever raise their hand.
Precisely. Which brings us to measurement, because that focus on influence changes everything.
It really does. The old way isn't working. Declan Mulkeen advocated moving away from what he called pretty data dashboards.
The Garmin screenshot of activity, I like that.
It's perfect, right? It shows you what you did, but it doesn't tell you how to win.
So you need an execution board instead.
Exactly. A dashboard that coaches your team on what to optimize next and who to prioritize now. Bill Habib called the old way the marketing data mirage. Looks good, but the pipeline is flat.
So how do you cut through that mirage and prove the impact simply?
Semberg Baker recommended a really straightforward approach. A target account split test.
A control group.
Yep, take 100 accounts, split them, hit 50 with your ABM tactics, leave the other 50 for normal sales outbound. If the marketing group converts at a higher rate, you have your proof.
And that avoids the whole vague influenced pipeline issue that Mikhail Tarian criticized.
It does. It moves to actually generated, the budget always follows what's provable.
Now, AI is starting to change the speed of this. Jerry Farr advised using AI to create a canonical source of truth for accounts.
Right. So you pull in everything, web research, CRM data, intent signals, into one massive document.
And then what? What's the point of that huge artifact?
The AI queries that document to produce specific assets on the fly. So you can instantly create an ABM campaign brief for sales that addresses the exact hidden fears of each stakeholder.
Without a human spending a week on research.
That's the goal. And Mikhail Jakowski noted Nathan Latka's prediction that AI chat interfaces will replace dashboards entirely.
So instead of clicking around, you just ask which campaigns are working in APAC.
Exactly. Citing ZeniBM's Zine AI as an example. But, and this is the critical warning from Tyler Pleiss and Marcus Stahlberg-Keck, is only an amplifier. It is not a solution.
So if your strategy is bad, the software just becomes shelfware.
Immediately.
Yeah.
You have to do the hard work on strategy and alignment first. The tech can only amplify what's already working. ABM's success is about organizational behavior change.
That's really the core takeaway here. The shift is from ABM as a tactic to ABM as a fully aligned, disciplined commercial operating system. It demands precision over volume. If you enjoyed this deep dive, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. Also, check out our other editions on field marketing, channel and partner marketing, AI and B2B, MarTech, go-to-market, and social selling.
And here's a final provocative thought for you to consider. A recent study showed that only 26% of ABM programs are actually successful. So given that success is all about deep organizational alignment and behavior change, the question you need to ask is this. Are you investing in tech hoping it will fix your strategy? Or have you already done the hard work of fixing the alignment that will make the tech successful?
That's the real metric of ABM maturity. Something to chew on.
Indeed.
Thanks for diving deep with us.
Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.